Hello, my name is Nancy Ems. I'm with Polished, a professional development company that focuses on soft skills. And today we're going to focus on meeting management, more particularly how we behave. How is our behavior in meetings? Believe it or not, meetings can have a positive or a negative impact on our career. The choice is ours, right? Do we either earn their respect and gain opportunities, or do we lose respect and lose opportunities? It's up to us to choose wisely. Let's face it, there are situations at work where we are scrutinized for our behavior. For example, when giving a presentation, when leading a project, dealing with conflicts, et cetera, et cetera. And you guessed it, how we behave in meetings. So if you want to climb that proverbial career ladder and become an expert on how to handle yourself in meetings, then tune in because we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts of meeting etiquette or meeting behavior. So with that, I am going to share my screen so you don't have to just look at me and pull up my PowerPoint and just get started with a couple of points to make here. So let me just pull up the slideshow and we'll start. So as you know, there's lots of meetings and you probably attend many of them on this list. Status updates, information sharing, decision-making, problem solving, brainstorming, team building, client facing. That's just really the main thrust of the meetings that we go to. On average, we attend 3 meetings a day. And if we calculate that, that's over 60 meetings a month. So imagine how our behavior can really have a positive impact or a negative impact on how we present ourselves. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is the most common type meetings. Staff meetings tend to be the most common in which employees attend on a daily basis, followed by task force meetings, information sharing, brainstorming, ceremonials, and other type of meetings. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're thinking about these meetings. Often too, when we attend meetings, we want to attend with purpose, right? And with value. Believe it or not, and I've done this too, I've sat in meetings and thought to myself, why am I here? I have nothing to do with this project. I'm just filling a seat, so to speak. So there's reasons why we can lose our energy, lose our kind of our behavior, if you will, in terms of being more mindful in the moment. We've been daydreaming. We've all had that feeling of thinking about our weekend plans or what we have to do after work to get dinner prepared, et cetera, et cetera. So we're guilty of kind of losing our focus at meetings. And I hate to admit it, but it happens. God forbid we doze off at meetings. We're all guilty of that. It's not something that we're proud of, obviously, and it doesn't shine well on our professionalism. But again, these negative behaviors of dozing off or distracting ourselves or maybe over talking, interrupting people, something that we want to avoid. So I have a list of things that we want to do in meeting to help boost our stature, to boost our credibility, our respect, ultimately our professionalism. So first of all, when you attend a meeting, do your homework, right? Take time to read the agenda. We're all busy, and I'm guilty of that too. We print the agenda up right before the meeting, and then we really don't have a breath of what's going on. So just take that time to review the meeting agenda and understand the purpose of it, the goals, the objectives, the end game in which everybody in the meeting is supposed to help lead and conquer. Prepare for the meeting, the same thing. Come with your notes, right? If you are supposed to deliver a project update, a status update, anything that really involves having some background and knowledge of what the purpose of the meeting is, you'll want to be prepared. There is nothing worse, right, than being called upon at a meeting and you have not a clue of really what you want to say or what you want to add to a project that could create some added suggestions or ideas to make it move forward better. So again, just be thoughtful about it and prepare for your meeting. arrive on time, or better yet, get there early, right? That shows respect. That shows that appreciation, and that shows that you are, you're there to be a team player, to be involved, and to be engaged. This is an important one that so often we forget, right? So when we're at a meeting, make the point to greet each other, a friendly hello, maybe some small talk before the meeting kicks in, introduce yourself to people who you don't know in the meeting. That little bit sets the stage for your attitude and your demeanor. We all like to work with people who are likable, right? Who have good soft skills. So by showing that you're here and you're glad to be there at the meeting, it's kind of sets the stage for productivity. A lot of times we'll want to bring food in, or we bring our phone in and we're checking email. Again, that's just distracting to others, and it's a bit disrespectful. What else? Be an active member of that meeting. Take notes, ask questions where it's appropriate. Comment on somebody's idea, suggest, agree with them, do things that build collaboration and that build kind of that reinforcement of the value and the purpose of being there. Think before you speak. Lots of times people just like to talk and hear each other, hear our voices and hear what we have to say, just because it's very important and we have something of value to add. There's nothing more boring, if I will, that to listen to somebody just drone on and on and on, and they really don't have anything that is purposeful or adds to the conversation. Be inclusive, right? When you are taking on an update and it's your turn to kind of give that project status or whatever that update is, be inclusive. Ask anybody in the room if they have any questions or ideas to help the project continue to do better or enhance. Don't be afraid to single out somebody who's quiet. Now, obviously, you want to do it with respect, but you could say, Sue, I get it. You are always so thoughtful about how we can enhance our gala or our fundraising event. Please shoot me an email, or if you have anything to add, I would appreciate that. And obviously, you only want to do that when there's some engagement going. You don't want to single somebody out, especially one who's more reserved and maybe caught off guard. And then lastly, complete any action items that you have on time. Again, that just puts you in the professionalism seat, right? You don't want to delay or say, oh, sorry, I just got behind. No. You want to be able to take what your assignment was from that meeting, do it, and bring it forth at the next meeting or whenever that deadline is. Those are just some meeting do's. Obviously, we want to be clear when we speak. We want to communicate with confidence. And believe it or not, there's two forms of nonverbal communication that will already elevate your confidence level. And that's eye contact and smiling. And, sometimes it's nerve-wracking to get up and make a presentation or a report update. I get that. But if you can kind of leverage those nonverbal communication skills of smiling and making eye contact to those in the room, you'll already feel more confident. And also watch your posture, right? And your body language, and really engage in that positive form of body language. Using the open palm position shows inclusivity, engages people around you, that says, you know what, I'm on your team. I agree with what you're saying. You really very rarely want to put your palms down when giving a talk. That's very negative. It has a bossy connotation or bureaucratic, authoritarian kind of approach. So avoid that. If it's a smaller room and there's maybe 6 or 7 people in the room, the steeple is a really good choice to use, and you can use the open palm with your steeple kind of form of body language. It's a thoughtful approach. It says you're thinking about it, and you want to include everybody and be and get that buy-in from everybody. So those are just some mindfulness things to really start to do when you are in the meeting arena. Don't be afraid to take chances and do things that'll really highlight your meeting behavior, because honestly, there's opportunities there, as I said in the beginning of this vlog. There are opportunities to get more involved, to take on a leadership position, as opposed to when you're sharing some negative behavior, which, by the way, we're going to get into right now. Avoid being tardy. Obviously, there's going to be some situations when you are late. Then, of course, you want to take that protocol, send an email to the meeting attendees saying, I apologize. I'm running back-to-back meetings here late. I don't want to be disturbing you, so I'll slip in. And if I'll try to catch up after what I missed from everybody after the meeting. This just, again, shows that respect and professionalism when people don't want to be, set off guard when you open that door and create a little bit of a disruption. So don't show up late unless you have to, and you want to do that with a friendly note ahead of time. Again, when giving a report, an update, we need to listen, right, to what that other person is saying. You don't want to overspeak or interrupt them. That's just rude, quite frankly. And people do have feelings. They'll feel dejected if you interrupt and they're not allowed to finish that thought. So just use your good active listening skills when in your meeting and avoid interrupting. Again, I mentioned this, don't talk to hear yourself talk. Only talk when you have something special or significant to add. And at the end of the meeting, perhaps the facilitator or the leader of the meeting will say, does anybody have any other things that they would like to say at the meeting? Maybe that would be the opportunity for you to say, you know what, I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this project. And I look forward to contributing and doing the best to help move this project to fruition and completion. Something like that, if you feel like you haven't had an opportunity to talk, it will just kind of gives you a little bit of a limelight at the end of the meeting to share your point of view. Don't, and we're all guilty of this, right? Check our emails or text or bring our phone to the meeting for that matter. We really need to be in the present when we are attending a meeting. Again, I'm saying this over and over again, it's all about respect. Put the shoe on the other foot. What if somebody was giving an update and you were busy checking your emails or texting somebody? So just refrain from that. Lots of leaders or facilitators in meetings will say, let's have a no phone rule. Obviously, if there's an emergency, perhaps a child may not be, maybe giving you a call if he or she is not feeling well at school or something, you want to have that, but you can always have your phone on silent and just say, I'm sorry to have my phone here at the meeting. I'm expecting a call from the school nurse regarding my child or something of that nature that shows relevance and shows reason why you brought your phone in. Another thing, and a lot of people are now bringing in their either their laptops or their tablets in. It's okay if you want to do that and take notes, right? You're an active participant in the meeting, but don't bring it in to check your email or even do work while you're at that meeting. Again, it just shows poor form, quite frankly, unprofessionalism and something you want to avoid. Goes without saying, don't lose your temper. We've all been in situations where we just regret, taking that 24-hour rule or saying something, and then you kind of regret it after the meeting. So just be mindful of what you want to say. Again, use your self-awareness, your emotional intelligence. We don't always agree with everybody, right? And that's fine. We can agree to disagree, but don't lose your temper. That soft skills, people skills, our interpersonal skills, our smart skills all shine lightly when we can really use that emotional intelligence effectively and regulate ourselves, and so we don't say anything we regret. Again, we're at a brainstorm meeting or we're at an update meeting of a project or something. Some people like to really brainstorm and say ideas. Maybe they're kind of out there ideas or off the wall ideas. No matter, right? Everybody has a chance to share their feedback. It's very, very naughty, not good, bad, mean, whatever you want to call it, to put down other people's ideas or suggestions. Again, the empathy rule, you put yourself in their shoes. You may not have to always agree with them, but you want to try to understand their viewpoint or where they're coming from. Again, here, we want to avoid negative body language, crossing your arms at a meeting. Now, granted, the room may be freezing, and there's a reason why we're doing that. So we have to be, mindful of the environment we're in. But, showing displeasure, rolling your eyes, nodding off, like I said, putting your hands on the table of the meeting room, things like that that can really kind of be distracting and create that negative body language. So again, the best thing you could do is smile and be thoughtful, maybe nodding your head when you agree with somebody, and just using positive body language like we talked about earlier. I rambled, and I understand that sometimes we just need to take a break and hear what I had to say. So this obviously is a video for you to review and look back on, but also to give you a little time to think about how you want to improve your meeting behavior. So, studies say if we write things down, chances are we'll be successful and we'll improve in whatever thing we're trying to improve upon. So what are the 3 things you want to start, stop, and continue to do in regard to your meeting behavior? Maybe it's, I'm always running late, even when I don't have a reason. So I want to stop that. Perhaps it's, I want to start being more aware of how I can add value to a meeting, right? So maybe it's doing my homework better, or taking better notes, or something of that nature, and continue, because we do great things. Maybe it's I want to continue to compliment a coworker on a job well done. Take the time, and what are those 3 things? Maybe they're 1, or maybe there's just 2 things, but take the time to do this little exercise. And then what are the 3 things you plan to do differently in regard to meeting behavior to achieve results? Right? And then go a step further. What are the next steps, 30 to 60 days? You'll be surprised. Again, if you take the time to journal and be thoughtful about your actions, and you see improvement, you'll notice. Maybe people will say, really appreciate you on our team, or thanks for your contributions at the meeting today. It was really helpful. Or thanks for bringing in the bagels and the coffee. That was so incredibly kind of you, and really appreciated at our 7 a.m. meeting this morning. So things like that really can add value, not only to your career, but to opportunities that arise. And so take the time, especially as we begin our new year of January 2021, to be a better you, to improve your meeting behavior, and to improve your performance. So thank you, and good luck.